Hello everyone, and welcome to another online Grace Creative session. My name is Desiree and I'm the Director of Grace, and I'm excited to be leading you through another online session today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making these cute feather mobiles. Pretty simple project. Hopefully when you're done you'll want to hang it up in your house or give it to a friend or loved one as a gift. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the materials that you need in order to do this project, and then we will jump into the first step. So the first thing that you're going to need in order to do this project is some wooden dowel. You can find this at the craft store. It can be anywhere between 6 and 10 inches, just depending on how big you want your mobile to be. Next thing you're going to need is some twine, at least 6 feet, probably closer to 10 feet. You're also going to need double-sided craft paper. This is actually just scrapbooking paper that I've cut down into 2.5 by 4 inch squares. Doesn't have to be exactly that size, but somewhere between probably 4 and 6 inches long with like a 2.5 inch width will work just fine. You're also going to need some Elmer's glue, and you're going to need some craft wire. I've also got these little ornament hangers here that I had laying around, and they're green, so I think that'll be a cool modification on this project. You're also going to need a feather diagram, so I just printed this off of Google just to give myself an idea of what a feather will look like. And then last but not least, you're also going to need some scissors. We're going to be using these a lot. So go ahead and gather up all your materials, set up the area in front of you, make sure you have plenty of working space, and we will jump into the first step. All right, so for the first step of this project, you're going to need to grab your twine and your scissors. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut 6 lengths of the twine in between 12 and 24 inches. So go ahead and grab that twine and your scissors, and you're going to want some varied lengths. You don't want them all to be 12 inches or all 24. You just want them different lengths between 12 and 24 inches. So take a few minutes to cut your lengths of twine, and I will come back with the next step. All right, so after you have your twine cut up, the next thing that you're going to need is your craft paper as well as your glue. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be gluing the twine pieces to the center of the craft paper. So you're going to want to take 2 pieces of the craft paper, and you're going to take your Elmer's glue, and you are going to put a strip of the glue down the front and center of the craft paper, and then you're going to place the craft paper over top of that glue line and just use your finger and kind of smash that down. And you're going to do that on both ends of the twine. So you're going to attach that side, and then you'll come back again, grab your glue, put a line down the center, attach the end, run your finger over it, and so that you have pieces of twine attached on both ends of your paper. And you're going to repeat that process until you have all 10 of your sheets of paper attached to the 5 ends of the twine. So take a few minutes and complete that step. I will come back and show you mine when I am finished. All right, so when you're finished with this step, you should have 5 of these with the 2 pieces on the end. You can see that I just glued the twine in the center of the paper, and you're gonna have a bunch that are different lengths, which is a good thing because that means that we're going to have some variation in our mobile when we're done. So now you're going to want to just take a few minutes to let these dry, because the next step is that we're going to be cutting these into a shape of a feather. So just take a few minutes, maybe take a bathroom break, grab something to drink, and go ahead and let your glue dry, and I will come back with the next step. All right, so after your glue has had a few minutes to dry, the next step is going to be to cut these pieces into feathers. So again, if you got a kit from us, you should have this feather diagram. And if you're doing the project from home, you can just go on Google or Pinterest and find a feather diagram, or just cut something off the top of your head that you think looks like a feather. But yeah, just go through, again, grab your scissors. I like to start from the bottom, and I do like to leave a little bit of space for the stem. So that just looks like cutting alongside of the base of the, of where the string is attached. So just put a little incision here on the bottom, and then just cut the paper out in the shape of feather. So again, you're gonna go through and cut all 10 of these. Might take you a few minutes, but I will come back when I'm done cutting my feathers. So I've got my main feather shape cut out. Now I'm going to work on putting my little cuts and incisions in the edge there. You can see that there's a little cut there. So just gonna give you a couple tips on doing this. I prefer holding my feather with the stem facing up, and then you can just make these little incisions and just cut these little squares out as you go. And you can really be creative with this. You can put 3 in one side, 5 in one side, really as many as you want, and you can make them as deep and dramatic as you want. But you're just gonna take a few minutes kind of shaping the feathers so that they actually look like feathers and not just strips of paper hanging. But yeah, take a few minutes to kind of cut and put those sides in, and I will come back with the final few steps. Okay, so hopefully you've had enough time to cut your feathers. I was able to finish all of mine, and they're looking pretty cool. I did some different shapes, different formations, just to create some different feather looks on my pieces of paper. We're gonna go ahead and dig into the next step, which is going to be to put the stem on the feather. So using your craft wire, and in my case, my ornament hooks, what you're gonna do is you're going to take that wire and then start from the base of the feather stem, and you're just gonna wrap that wire around the base. And this is gonna create something that looks like just that it's attaching. It's just gonna add a little bit of character and a little bit of a marker between the paper and the twine. And it's gonna help to keep the paper and the twine attached over the long haul. So yeah, you just kind of use your finger to twist that wire around the base. When you're done, it should look something like that. And again, you're gonna do that to all 10 ends of your leaves. So take a few minutes and wrap your craft wire around your feathers. I will come back when I'm done with mine, and I'll give you the final couple of steps. All right, so now that you've got your craft wire attached to the end of your feathers, we're gonna dig into the final 2 steps of this project, which is just gonna be to attach these feathers to the wooden dowel, as well as create a way to hang this on the wall. So for the next step, all you're gonna do is you're gonna start grabbing your feathers on the ends of the string, and you're just gonna double knot them to the wooden dowel. So you are gonna have to kind of pull the feather through, and what you're gonna wanna do is when you tie this, you don't necessarily wanna tie them evenly. That way you end up with some different lengths here. So you can see that this feather's a little bit higher, this feather's a little bit lower. We're just going to attach those to the wooden dowel, and like I said, just go ahead and do a simple double knot. So just tie it and then loop it around again and tighten it. And you might play around a little bit with the lengths just to get it looking the way that you want. But just spend a few minutes tying your feathers to the wooden dowel, and I will come back and show you the final step. All right, so after you've got your feathers tied onto the wooden dowel like so, the final step of this project is just going to be to create a wall hanging string around the top. So you're just going to take that final piece of twine that we cut earlier, and you're going to tie it to either end of the dowel so that you have a little strip that goes up over the top like this, and then you're going to cut off the remaining ends, and then you'll be done with this project. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine, and then I'll come back one last time to show you my final project. All right, so hopefully you had enough time to get your wall hanging string attached. I'm all done with my project, and I think it turned out pretty good. I like it. I like all the color. I feel like I got some good different variances in my link, so you can see all of the feathers and all of the colors pretty well. So we really hope that you enjoyed doing this project with us today. These sessions are available online for both the girls in our program as well as to our donors. And so we invite you to subscribe to our channel to get these updates. We do a new session almost every week, and we send out kits to our youth so they can follow along these videos. And we also love it when our supporters come and do these sessions with us as well. So if you do one of these sessions, please tag us on Instagram, put up a photo, show us your project, and share it on Instagram and Facebook and get the word out. So, and we are in the final stretch of looking for 5 more Grace 2020 donors. Again, if you care about these kids in our city who are being trafficked and exploited, we're asking for 5 more donors to step up for $20 a month. When you do that, you get a handcrafted puzzle piece signifying that you are a piece of the puzzle in ending human trafficking. And until August 31st, we're actually sending out another free promotional item for you. So we hope that you consider becoming a Grace 2020 donor, and appreciate your guys' support and love. Hope you enjoyed the session, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. God bless.